What's up guys, welcome to the artclasses.com. Today, or in this video, I'm going to do a Patreon paint over. So if you are one of my Patreon and you post on the community on Patreon post, then I will randomly pick a couple of months and do like a 30 minutes paint over. This one, I don't know how long it's gonna take, probably maybe 20 minutes. Just gonna fix a few things. So on my Patreon, you can, from level 1 to level 5, you can just post your artwork and I will pick it and try to fix your painting or show you how to make it better. So before the end of November, Patreon, this is going to be a reward video tutorial for this one, level 5, and this one also level 5, and make it bigger so you know what it looks like. So just some environment and character in it. This is the outdoor, kind of deserty, and this is like a Beauty and the Beast with minions. This one is this guy is kind of like a reskin of the character from the Go Gigantic. I had a video on the Twitch. I'm not sure if it's still there, probably is, for like at the beginning of this video, and then a bunch of rabbits. I don't know if you guys know the Rabbits Invasion. They are like actually my favorite animation. Okay, so so those are Patreon for this month, and you can also take my class at the artclasses.com. Go there, or you can click on the right corner. You see the link to the class. So in this one, it's a nice, what do you call it, Spartan character. What you need to work on is probably the overall lighting, because I'm not really sure where the lighting's coming from, probably from here, but look like this, the lightest, but then it's kind of got lost in here somewhere, and if the light come here, then this should be a bit lighter here. I would put the light a little bit off to this side and not directly to the side, because it's, well, if you have a darker background, that might help also. So you need to work on the lighting a little bit, and material. This nice touch on this headdress thingy, and I see that you use a lot of lasso tool, which is great. Try to get used to that. So first thing, I'm gonna fix the color. Let's fix the background a bit. If you want if I want this to show up a little more and more shiny, maybe I'm gonna darken the background a bit. Let's see, not sure how big this is. Wow, this is way too big. You don't need, well, you kind of you finish an illustration that big is okay. Usually I work about 3,000, 2 to 3,000 is fine, unless it's a book cover, then it should be bigger. So I'm just gonna pick these and darken this whole thing, maybe a little bit darker. And I would pick orange rather than yellow, so it looks a little more deserty. And a lot of time, the reason you see a bunch of concept artists that put, a bunch of concept art that put on top, usually on the character, on top of the character in the background will be darker, is because as you go lower, horizontal line is here, right? So your horizontal line is around this area, and from the horizontal line it will get darker up or either down, because it's coming toward us, and whatever closer to us will be darker, and as it goes up, same thing, right? Perspective wise, it will get darker on top. So that's a reason why they do that. So all right, so now I'm just gonna erase some of this out. Okay, just a little bit. I would even put a different color on the background. Let's see. Now let's just tone down the saturation of this one. So if I change the color, it would just go with what I want. So I'm just gonna change the color on here a little bit. Make it a bit more orange. There we go. And then I'm just going to erase out the character. So now you can separate the character out from the background by just color alone at this point. That's first thing. And then I'm going to need to darken the background a bit. Just going to be a really quick pan over, so just going to lock this and pick orange, fill it in. There we go. That might be a bit too orange. And this scheme is probably what you call not a monochromatic, but it's more like analogous. I'm not sure if I pronounced it right. Analogous theme is more like if you pick just one section. Why doesn't it show up? Analogous is like you pick one section or one block of this color, right? Or you can pick that. Yours seems more like this. So it's not really monochromatic, so because you have more range, but it's still kind of analogous. All right, so now I am going to fix the helmet. Might not be as pretty, but you need a bit of material and lighting, and this okay. I'm going to explain to you later, but well, should so I'm gonna, so this is the overall color range there. I mean the overall form, not color range, sorry. It doesn't need to go that dark. Be darker here. Then you might need a little bit of rim light. Gonna make it rounder there. The helmet also need to be bigger than the head. And rim light a little. I can add a little. Also, material. You need to convey to whoever you show this to, or the audience, something that this is metal, right? So you need to do some material study. So metal gonna have a bit more of specular level. So you're gonna have like super highlight around here. And I'm gonna go color dodge first because it need a little bit of color. So this is a bronze, and this color is not totally bronze, but you get the point. I'll probably have to fix the color a little bit. Alright, so I'm gonna go normal now and maybe pick this brush. You can use just default, it's fine. But I use this brush because it's make my job a lot faster. Nothing really, I mean, it helps if you know how to use texture brush. I mean, if you know how to use default brush to make these things. First you have to like do material study, right? And then this texture brush just gonna make your job faster. It's not gonna do the job for you, so you're gonna need to know how to render metal with just default first. just add a bit of texture there. Oh, so the light's coming from this area, which is sphere, and then from downward it's gonna come down that way. Gonna offset a little bit. And then this probably gonna be there. Alright. So, and it's gonna be a little bit lighter from down below. So that's just the helmet. I'll probably use a little bit of lineage dodge. So this is just a quick, paint over, so don't expect anything pretty. And probably the top edge will have highlight. And then a little bit of the rim light behind this. Right, so we'll go back. Add a bit of light here also. Oh, I was doing brush. Why does it go to the? I know we use the smudge tool and it's go there for some reason. So now I'm just look at this area. I'm just gonna make this area a little more clear on that one, but the rest of them are just a hint, so it's not gonna be the full-fledged rendering. Maybe just around this part. Alright, so the logistic of this is basically, so this is a sphere shape, right? And when sphere shape come in, the light coming here, the highlight would be around here somewhere, and the rest of these are basically a cylinder, and when sphere lining up with cylinder will have the highlight straight more forward. So basically it's like this. So the sphere will have a light hit there and gradually get darker, 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 and cylinder will go this way. And it's offset a little bit, that's why it's not totally connected. So it's offset because this one is higher, so the light kind of go, that's higher part, light come here, light will go there straight. So that's the logistic behind the helmet. And then for the rest, I'm just gonna, I'm not sure if we'll have enough time to do this whole thing, but we're gonna try. I'm just gonna use texture brush here. Yeah, this one is really nice already, so I probably don't have to do much to it. But you could bring some dark and some light to give it an uneven form, like some of this will be thicker and some of them will be slightly less. And maybe a little bit of light. Whoops, that's let's pick the light, go a bit lighter, a little more toward the orange color because the background is kind of orange. A little more there. Right, so it's have that thickness and uneven tone. Right, and then on the edge, you probably want to break it down a bit on the edge here. You don't want them to be even. I mean, you do want kind of even, but you want to kind of break them up a bit so that it looks a little more natural. Right, and then break down this thing a bit. Alright, so now for the muscle, I'm just gonna paint some parts. So your muscle over here, deltoid, there's too much thing going on. Simplify it, or the pecs. I'm just gonna maybe do the pecs and the rest. Let's see, fabric first. Let's do fabric. Let's do muscle first. Why not? Don't have a lot of time here, but just gonna simplify this. Try to break down the big piece first. You know, don't mix them up between light and shadow. And don't make everything too soft, because when you make everything too soft, everything becomes too ambiguous. Try to decide where the soft edge and hard edge are. For instance, on the muscle, like on the pecs, if you have the pecs here, right, this one will can be soft, but when it's come down to the rib cage here, that need to be a harder edge, because the edge change there like abruptly, and then you want this one surface coming down here, and then it changes, so it has sharp angle. So on the pecs, bottom of the pecs, you probably will need a harder edge. And then, since the light coming from the side, this will be the light. The light will go here. I mean, shadow will go from here to there. Shadow will go from here to there. And that should be in shadow for the most part. You might have a little bit of light, but not a lot. And then this shoulder are connected to the pecs. Then see shadow go to light, and then start light again, and then go to shadow. Rib cage, stomach, break down the midsection, and then light here. Alright, so let's running out of time here, so I'm just gonna solve some of them. Occlusion shadow here. And the material probably has to be down here also on the gauntlet. Alright, so make another layer here. Shadow, probably more like occlusion shadow here. I'm gonna make slightly darker red, then occlusion shadow underneath it. A little bit darker on that. I'll go a bit lighter and moving toward the orange. No, I don't like that. Actually, just lighter. Right. This brush kind of work like a sable brush sometimes, but I use it a lot for hair. But it could work. It could make a nice transition in between the edges, and it make my job a lot quicker instead of like having to go in and make every single edges. And just use this. And this way too dark. It's in the exposed area. It doesn't go quite that dark. Should be above like 20%. And the shield are like way too big. So I would trim the shield a bit. Okay, that's that's a lot. Just gonna merge everything down. And I was gonna spend only 20 minutes, but apparently I couldn't finish the whole thing within 20 minutes. Move it up a little bit. There. Alright, so I'm just gonna loosely paint the rest. And the arm is kind of a little bit too, the gauntlet a bit too big. This should be slightly darker as it comes up. Wait, why doesn't he has does he have, oh yeah, on this side, okay. And darker below, more saturated. So I'm just gonna do really quick speed paint. And you probably will have a little bit of rim light also. Now a little bit of highlight. Just gonna use the light from the outside to create the highlight. Probably the closer the muscle that are closer to us gonna have more contrast. A little bit of abs. Rib cage. This highlight on the gauntlet. Yeah, I'll probably have to fix the highlight here a bit. It might be too much there. Alright, so there. I think that should help you a bit on like so try to when you render, imagine, you know, like you need to practice on anatomy a little bit and separate the light and shadow, right? And then also material study. So material of metal would be different from this fur and cloth and all that. Cloth usually will have like only a few value, and then on metal you have a more value range that you can use. But on metal you have tons of value range that you can use. From skin will be in between like cloth and metal on its value range or the specular level. So and this is not super duper perfect, but just give you some ideas of what you need to work on and stuff. And on the last, I would go to layer, new adjustment, and then color balance, and maybe add a little. Oh, I forgot rim light. You could have a bit of rim light on the muscle. This might be a little too much, but you get the idea. And rim light here. On the cloth, probably not, but maybe here. All right. Let's see, I could go to level a little. There. just does a little bit, doesn't do too much, but it kind of make the metal a little more tolerable. I'm gonna add a little bit more around here. There we go. Because if the light hit the body a little bit more, then I could pull the light onto the side a little bit more also. Alright, so let's put this one probably not, and I would desaturate the background a bit using color. Because the sky usually, if it's further away, you want to push it a little bit further out, so your character will pop out a little more in terms of saturation. And then, I'm not sure if I should, maybe I try darken this a little. Okay, I'm just, probably I should go just a little bit over. I would kind of darken this a little bit, maybe, I don't know, but yeah, this is pretty much from here to there what I would do. And just fix all the stuff that I mentioned, and then you'll be fine. Nice try. So if you're interested in feedback, then you can go to my Patreon at patreon.com/Xia Taptara. I'm just gonna get rid of that. Or you can go take my class, digital painting. Then you will get, like, you know, every week, 5 weeks or 8 weeks, depends, or mentorship. Then you get the private lesson or group class or whatever. You get feedback on the live class pretty much on a weekly basis. Alright guys, well, thank you for watching, and don't forget, this month Patreon, you get this tutorial, and then that tutorial. Alright guys, have a good weekend. Bye bye.